Yeah, so I'll just start by saying that here we are with two of the participants, Mike and Matt, from the most recent study that we did here at the Float Zone, the Workplace Wellbeing Study. And I wanted to get your take on the chronology of your three floats. You know, what did that mean to you over the 3 week period of the floating?
Well, the first one, I've floated many times before, but I've only floated just kind of like a shopping cart method. Like if I felt like doing it, like if my leg was broken, then I'd go get a cast.
Right, right.
And so to plan it out was a little different for me. But I had gone through, I think I always tell people the first float is kind of the hardest because you're stuck with yourself, and then, you know, there's a lot of mental inventory going on that first time you float. Well, I'd already done that. So I was excited to get in the water right away. I'm old school. I do the lights off, pod closed all the way, and I do turn the music on. And so I escaped pretty quickly. I mean, I'm gone very fast, which I love. And so I was really just, first time I was just excited to do it. And you know, immediate short-term benefits that I always get. I just am more relaxed. I feel it for days, not hours. Like a massage, I only feel good until I walk into my house. As soon as I get out of that bubble of a massage room, then life hits, and that benefit's gone. Mm-hmm. Well, with floating, the benefit tends to chill a little longer for me. Usually lasts another day or two. I work from home, and I have 3 young children in my home, 6, 8, and 10. So the minute I get out of that car, life happens. Mm-hmm. And I thought what was interesting was over the 3 floats, knowing I had it planned, knowing I had that day coming. It was Tuesday morning. It was the same time every morning. And so that would carry me through some uplifts, some challenging times at home. Because, you know, you work from home, you're not able to, like, really leave. And so it kind of all just blends together. But it was a nice escape time for me to know, okay, well, Tuesday morning I'm going to get through it. So, like, by Sunday, I'd be getting a little antsy, and I'd be like, okay, well, I'm floating on Tuesday, so this is cool. And I definitely would feel it carry out, you know, usually through the weekend. The benefit of the float would carry me through the weekend on a Tuesday, and then by the time I got to Saturday and Sunday, I was getting excited about my next planned float. So for me, I really liked having the plan. That was what was new for me, was the plan, and then the weekly benefit of it just always being there. I felt my level of stress as a whole just come down a little bit.
That's great. Can we hear a little bit from you about your 3 float experience?
Yeah, I mean, I had floated once or twice before, but it had been at least a year or two. So to his point, that first one, it definitely was a little harder than the other 2. It was a lot harder than the other 2, actually. But I alternated actually between lights on and off. I think the first one I did lights off, and then the last 2 I think I did lights on, and music on all 3. But that first one, I didn't really feel a whole lot of relaxation. I had a lot going on with work, and just mentally I was just having a hard time relaxing. But then I was, you know, committed to coming the 3 times. So the second time I was a little apprehensive, but I said, you know, I committed, I'm going to do this. And the second time was great. I was able to really let a lot of stuff go once I was in there. And then the third time was even better. So, yeah, it was just one of those things where I got a little bit more acclimated and just able to kind of use the space for relaxation and just sort of let a lot of stuff go until I was done.
Yeah, that's perfect. Did you have something else to say?
Yeah, for me, Murphy's Law, you know, it always happens. Like, my phone won't ring all weekend, and then the minute, 30 minutes before I come here, everybody in the world calls me. Mm-hmm. And so you had told me once before, just leave it in the car, don't ring it. And so I did practice that on this whole 3-week float, and it really helped me. In fact, I found I stopped. I didn't check email the morning of. So I was doing it at 10. I went for a walk and then came in, and so I was able to. I think that really helped with my productivity side of it. I didn't look at the data back of it, but I know I got more work done those weeks because I was able to come in early in the week and do this, and it relaxed me out. But I think leaving the phone in the car and not working the hour before it really helped me kind of benefit longer. My hunch is I had a better, more relaxed, and more productivity over the week because I was able to leave the technology out of my life for an hour or two before the flu. I don't know the data on it. I didn't see it, but I felt like that's what was happening.
For me, like a lot of times, like I would walk out the door here and hit the interstate to go drive somewhere for work. So I was working before I walked in and right after I left, but I can see the point, and would love to have been able to. Like I didn't even think of that, but.
Well, for me, I always struggle, owning the business, I always struggle with, like, is working all the time the right call? We get so used to 60 hours, 80 hours, we bang it out. And Mike and I work on a TV show as well as our jobs. And so a lot of times, we were running this summer. We filmed 6 TV shows this summer as well as our full-time jobs. And so for me, I'm always looking for, well, if I steal an hour here, am I going to lose 3 or 4 there? Like, what is my opportunity cost on that hour to come float? Because it's really 2 hours, and what am I losing for those 2 hours? And I will say that you could argue the side of that when you're doing the one-off floating, but when you have it consistent, you have it planned, and you know it's coming, I definitely saw that I was, overall in the week, I was a lot more productive. So I would argue I probably made more money by taking those 2 hours to float each week than it cost, not especially more than it cost me, but the time cost was definitely more beneficial because I found myself going to bed earlier because I was more relaxed. So I wasn't working as late. So I think I got more done in less time. And and I haven't done it. I haven't been that successful since the test stopped. So by process of elimination, I think it's pretty clear. The floating helped me just get my stuff in order and bang it out faster, more efficiently.
I can definitely say I slept better. After the first one not so much, but the other 2, I definitely slept better. And I have a hard time like getting a full night's sleep as it is. So like that was an unexpected but very welcomed benefit.
I sleep during it. I always fall asleep now.
You do?
Halfway through I'm out. Yeah.
Well, we've talked, like, I've talked with some of your employees, like, I'm so tall, like, I bounce around in the pod. So that prevents me, from a certain degree, to relax so much, because I'll be, like, really chilled out, and then my foot hits, and I'm just kind of, so, it is what it is,
I'm making snow angels.
Yeah.
I'm out cold. I will say it was nice to have someone else going through the process with me. So we would talk. We'd get out of here and we'd call each other and we would. So I think we were more mindful of that word mindful's kind of a big word now, but like we really were paying attention to relaxing, and we were paying attention to, I'll put it in the mental health bucket. But having this scheduled, I keep talking about it because it was just what I expected to get short-term release and relaxation, but I didn't expect was the planning of it and knowing that it's a weekly part of my life, like exercise. It definitely helped me across other boards, but it was nice to have someone at work to discuss it with because it made us just more mindful of things.
Yeah, and like, as far as the study was concerned, it was helpful so we could keep each other accountable for the surveys and just everything else. So, there's definitely a benefit of doing it with a friend or a coworker.
The survey made me consciously think about it. So it was funny. The survey was part of the benefit because it made me be mindful of, okay, well, am I freaking out? Am I getting more done? Like, I'm not wasting this benefit. I think I kept going to don't waste this opportunity with getting wrapped up in a too busy of a day. Found myself, because I think, okay, what's the cost on this? Like, if it's X $100 a month for a couple, a float a week, like, well, I don't want to waste that with a phone call right out of the. And so it just kept being more mindful of it, and the experience did it, but also the survey enforced that. It made me really look at, like, am I getting out of this what I'm putting into it, the time I'm putting into it.
Excellent. Well, great. Thank you both very much. I appreciate your participation and your
Thanks
comments.
for allowing us to.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.